So here we go. So I am going to start by showing off a few use cases coming on Partisia blockchain, and I'm going to talk about why they are all super special and unique in their own way. So one of the first partner projects that we are working with is called OriginAll. And OriginAll's goal is to eliminate counterfeit goods from the market, and they're leveraging Partisia blockchain so that there's an open, transparent way for users to check the authenticity of their goods. The particular vertical that they're starting with on Partisia blockchain is going to be called Healthies, and it's focused specifically on counterfeit medicine. So when you are a person, the market it's targeting is actually Africa, because 42% of pharmaceutical drugs circulating in the African markets are actually counterfeit. And believe it or not, this contributes to millions of deaths per year from poisoning, which is so hard to even fathom, but that's the reality of the market. And counterfeit goods in general is $1 trillion industry. So another mind-blowing figure that can't seem real, but it is. This is actually addressing one of the biggest problems in the world. And a lot of the illicit funding that is yielded from counterfeit goods, is used for nefarious activities. So let me actually switch so that you can see the application side first. And then I'll show you the analytics dashboard second. Okay. Zoom is so messy. So this is the sort of website. It's also an application available on iPhone. It's already live and Android. So you can actually download it, I believe, from the store. If not, we'll get a private beta circulating so that you can all play around with it. But essentially, you would log in. And you can sort of see, the data on what's being, checked on the blockchain and referenced to the application. So the example you're seeing here is counterfeit cheese shirts. So you're able to sort of scan these new codes that you were issuing, and you can check to see the legitimacy of a t-shirt. And so if you're buying a Gucci shirt, for example, you'd be able to sort of scan and then get data on whether or not this product has already been scanned. If the QR code has been scanned 8,000 times in different locations all over the world, you kind of know it's a compromised item. So this is just sort of the background, and you can see where the different scans are occurring. So everything's tracked by location. And so then, more for the user side of things, you're able to, you'll be able to go to original.com and see the actual numbers more from a user experience standpoint of where different scans are happening, whether they failed or succeeded. And so this is going to be amazing because there's going to be just supply chain tracking right on Partisia blockchain, where it's addressing one of the biggest problems in the world, which is this fake counterfeit markets. So you can look forward to seeing the Healthies project deploying and going live soon on Partisia blockchain. As I mentioned, we'll get builds out so people can test it as well. But here you sort of can see, real-time feeds. So these feeds here are recording on chain. So every time a scan is made and there's a result of found, failed, all these actions are going to be recorded on chain. So there's a tamper-proof ledger that's recording the flow of goods across supply chains. So I think you can see the potential for how big this can really get. Next flagship project that's coming on Partisia blockchain is Instars.com, which is a sort of decentralized social networking tool. So the version you're looking at here is currently live at instars.com, and it runs on its own network at the moment, but it's a bit of a hybrid between a server-based model and a totally decentralized model. But with the integration of Partisia blockchain here, you can kind of see what it's like to log into a social network. So you're logging in, as you noticed, with the actual Partisia wallet itself, rather than a server. So what that means is, the site is logging in your account similar to how you would log in with MetaMask to a DEX. But in this case, it's to an actual social network. And it's all about censorship resistant social networking. You can make a post here. You actually see it records on chain. So on Partisia blockchain, and it's, it's kind of going fast. So you'll see the transaction, you'll actually see the post itself. So you can't delete this from the blockchain. So when what we're seeing from the big, giant tech giants is that they are censoring accounts. If you're not, speaking to the narrative that the, company seems to approve or disapprove of, you were seeing people's accounts completely disappeared overnight. But here it's going to be on chain, so it's very much censorship resistant. Of course, there's a lot of, things that still need to be worked out here because, there are abusive posts. So there has to be some type of balance. So that we're working on a governance model to decentralize the process of removing, horrible actors that, try to do things like Nazi content and, all the other, common abusive uses. But what's cool too is, you can earn here. So you can take things like surveys. And when you do, you actually get the tokens right to your accounts into your Partisia wallet. So imagine, an ad placement like an ad network or a survey network deploys, it can target directly to the users when they log in with their Partisia wallet. You can do KYC and your credentials would actually save locally in your extension rather than in a server. So if we do KYC on a user account, you would then, know their demographic details. And so it completely decentralizes ad targeting. The typical model is that all of the ad targeting, sits in a server like Facebook or Google. And, that's how when you go to the requester dashboard to place an ad, you're targeting those users based on data hosted by the tech giant. But in this case, you're actually able to host your own data inside of something like a Chrome extension. And when you log into the network, it actually is just a smart contract system that allows for polling of, relevant data, which can be fully encrypted, and matches can occur on chain with using cryptography methods like garbled circuits, which is something that the Partisia team had worked with Instars on a couple of years ago to establish, which is one of the first ever sort of decentralized blockchain matching engines that exist. And so you can see there's so much potential here because you're sort of just removing the middleman, but you're allowing the connection of both the enterprise user directly to the consumer who's using a platform. And there's so much power there, and it can really change the entire way that industry functions, and it's super disruptive. So again, this is going after one of the biggest markets. It's a tall order to serve, but I think that it's going to be an amazing use case to see on Partisia blockchain. So now let's talk about another partner project. We didn't have a demo for this, but we're just going to talk about, Cytus Heroes partnership. So we partner with Cytus Heroes, which is one of the most popular games coming to market. And we're exploring the possibilities within the game. And what does that mean? Well, we're going to use our expertise first. And something we can really add to the market is sort of encrypted NFTs, right? So a typical NFT, you can see all the metadata, it's all public, anything that's within it is, well known. So that's kind of how the current market functions. But with sort of encrypted NFTs, you can now do things like you could sell a movie script where you can see the front end art of the script that you kind of know what you're buying, almost think of it like an album cover, but then behind the encryption, there is a full movie script with access controls. So only the owner can see what's behind the art. And so that can scale the usage of NFTs wide and far. In particular, for a game like Cytus Heroes, you can do like mystery NFT boxes. So when your character is playing and competing in part of the game and they win something, you can see sort of the, like almost like a mystery box, and these encrypted NFTs can, the user can see the art, but then when they actually get the NFT, only they know what's truly inside of it, which is a really cool game functionality that could scale across the whole gaming industry. So then there's that. We're going to move right into the partnership we have with Frax Finance. So Cytus Heroes and encrypted NFTs is something we're building, on our end at the moment. And then we can test integrations once their game is live. With Frax, Frax is still, we had a check-in the other day, and they are still developing this. So it's not as soon coming to market as the other use cases, but the profound impact is worth noting and discussing of what the goal is. And that's to bring inflation data onto blockchain and create the Frax price index, where inflation data is being tracked in a much more secure and transparent way. So what we're working on is sort of, we can have two ways of integration here. One is with allowing users to submit data in a privacy preserving way, so that if you're in China or the Philippines, you can go to your supermarket every day, take a picture of receipts or of price tags, and constantly upload that and get small token rewards from the network. And then, you could have a big grid of products and, different regions, products, the price each day and how it's changing in the real world versus what the government reports. And I think we would have some shockingly different figures compared to government numbers. So that's a profound use case. Those are the four that we have time to discuss right now, as we're coming up against the clock here. We've got a bit of a late start. So now I'm going to jump in to answer some of your questions that were submitted. They were great questions. Thank you for taking the time to submit them. So let's see, my screen should be showing them now. Yes. So let people vote. So we're talking about listings. So what we do know is, we are in discussions with the top tier exchanges. Can't give you the exact listing dates, but an internal goal is to be going, over the next few months live on the exchanges. We want to get the Genesis block out first. We want to do a public sale shortly after that. That is limited, but allows everyone who KYC to participate and get at least enough to run some nodes. And then, of course, we can go to market with IEOs and direct listings on exchanges. We, would not launch without good exchanges behind the project, so you can be sure of that. So with the vesting unlocks and ICP, one thing that we're really proud of with Partisia blockchain is how everyone's a long-term holder from pre-sale and team. Everyone's on the same 4-year term. So team members have been locked. They're going to be locked, for the 4-year term. Anyone who bought in the pre-sale, minus a few very early people who are running nodes, is basically a 4-year quarterly unlock. So we won't see the type of market behavior of ICP where they were selling tokens at $400 billion market cap on the first day when the users didn't even really know what was going on. They were just blindly buying tokens. That was a really unfortunate and unfair way to go to market. So of course we will not model our behavior after that. Will it be profitable to be a node op? Yeah, so if you haven't had a chance yet to watch the node operators AMA, we do have it recorded and live on our YouTube channel, Partisia Blockchain. We actually created an awesome incentive for the early node operators. So everyone who's staking up to a maximum of 500,000 MPC tokens to run their nodes is receiving 1% per month yield. So basically 12% annual. So we're subsidizing the network with ecosystem tokens. That's always been part of the plan. You can read about it in the white paper. So that's currently live. So you don't even have to wait for mainnet. You can be staking, running your node op on BetaNet and currently receiving your yield. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you get in on that action. So plans to build momentum, a lot of plans. So we just started the Discord rank campaign. Twitter is big. It's our biggest market. People, sort of saw a few of the clips we did that got a few thousand likes and read a few blog posts. I think that might just go a bit viral on Twitter. But we're going to carry that over to other channels. We have a lot of interviews lined up. We have one coming with Data Dash. There's a few other top influencers who are going to feature Partisia as we get closer to Genesis blocks. So that should bring a lot of attention and momentum. But the big thing is, we're bringing in the new CMO, and I can tell you some of the candidates that we're interviewing now are top tier. We've gotten this project ready to go to market. We've raised a nice $45 million war chest in this pre-sale. And the candidates that we're able to attract are very impressive. And I can't wait to see what they can do with the foundation that we've built so far to really take it to the next level, as well as the COO who's going to come on and increase efficiency across the board of the foundation and all the associated teammates working on the project and different partner companies that are contributing. It's going to just be, every day we're just improving more and more. And this is a builder's market right now. So we're in a great place, and the exposure is going to come, and it's going to be a tidal wave. Exchanges that are planned to list, so we can't discuss that. Everything's privately in NDA, and you can't say you're listing on an exchange before it's public information. Yeah, so YouTube is going to be great. We're actually Jennifer, who's our new director of communications, is also the host of a very big TV segment called Decrypt, which is on I-24 News. It's getting millions of viewers a week. I actually did a segment last week on the show. It's only a 5-minute segment within another show, but Decrypt is going to be a feature on Partisia Blockchain's YouTube channel. So every episode is going to be part of that. We also just shot an amazing team interview series last week in Copenhagen. So a lot of the behind the scenes coders, cryptographers, Kurt himself, Peter himself, they're all interviewed talking about the project. So we're going to start to roll out that content one bit at a time. So there's a good stream, and it'll be super exciting. The marketing, just address that. The advantage for the Genesis node operators is you're getting yield. So get started now and you're already earning tokens. There's no upper bound on operators at this exact second. So there's still a lot of room though, post-launch, you won't be locked out. Marketing. Biggest competitors. So we're releasing a competitor chart. So I'll wait to release that because it has data, transactions per second, consensus. We have privacy. Others don't, those types of charts. Projects working on this. Tokenomics, look, every quarter there's a release, but it's a 4-year quarterly unlock. It's better than everyone being unlocked and releasing right away. So it's actually a long and drawn out unlock schedule. Yes, thank you to our amazing admins, Mimir, Pitbull, AKSM, SBZ. There's several others. They've been incredible. So thank you so much to them for their contributions and time. There's many more too, who are a really big part of this project. And all of you are early token holders and stakers. So thank you. You've vested to be here now. What do we have different from other Swiss companies? So from other Swiss companies, this is a global market. We're not competing against necessarily Swiss companies, but I think, what we do have that was alluded to in this question is Partisia, the company, has been building this software since 2008 for commercial enterprise use, and now we're building it for public protocol. So this is a very long, well thought out project that's going to come to market, and it's decades of research, a decade of actual development, and several years now of public protocol architecture and development. So that's something that most teams can't say, and if you look at the actual names behind this project, it speaks for itself. And we've had a few new investors that aren't disclosed yet until a little bit further along, and they're industry leaders. So everything is in good shape, and we're in a great, the foundation's great. So with the new hires, it's going to be pretty incredible next year. And Peter had shown the roadmap that we're heading towards, and it's going to be exciting. So we can look forward to, an event in Copenhagen that's all about Partisia blockchain, where we're going to invite developers. I won't say the date yet, but that's going to be announced. And, a lot of big feature set will drop by June. So let's all build amazing privacy preserving applications together. But that's a wrap on today's AMA. If you do have more questions, please continue to submit them. And we're going to continue to do these monthly or so. So thanks for your time, everyone. And we will make sure to post this recording onto the YouTube channel. So Pete and Kurt and Peter, you guys are able to unmute. So maybe just say your farewells. Yes. And we'll head out.
Goodbye, everyone. And looking forward to talk to you all guys again.
Yep. All right. Check this out on YouTube and share the link. Thanks, everyone.